Sterile open-plan kitchen spaces full of shiny stainless steel are out. In 2025, we're craving soft and warm, with a playful splash of kitsch. The return to the vintage-style kitchen is all about soulful slow living and a connection to the past. Vintage dinnerware that was once relegated to dusty attics or brought out at garage sales is making a huge comeback. Think antique plates, the more mismatched the better, long-stemmed glassware in delicate hues, and porcelain tea sets that absolutely demand full-on tea parties. Some popular vintage finds include the cute and kitschy cabbageware. You know, those leafy, sculpted ceramics beloved in 1960s kitchens. These pieces add charm to walls and table settings, but be mindful that pre-1971 ceramics may contain lead and are often better for display than daily use. Vintage dinnerware is also increasing in value, but in small homes, full sets can feel like clutter. The trick? Keep a few pieces that spark joy or memory and let go of the rest guilt-free.
You don't have a massive collection of cookie jars, do you?
How did you find out about that?
Cookie jars are making a comeback. They're practical, nostalgic, collectible, and super cute. And even if you've never snuck a cookie from your grandma's stash, having your own cookie jar almost makes you believe you did.
I probably shouldn't tell you because they'll think I'm a hoarder, but I have 608 cookie jars right now.
The Mother Goose jar in particular has been stealing hearts. This slice of Americana can be tracked down at antique stores, thrift shops, estate and garage sales. A few tips when buying vintage though. Always inspect for chips and cracks, and check the base for producer markings. Don't worry if the piece isn't in mint condition. Perfection isn't what makes these items special. Vintage refrigerators are in. You know the ones. They're pastel or brightly colored, smooth with rounded edges, bold logos, chrome accents, and sexy hardware.
Something as banal as a household appliance could have main character energy.
These fridges are statement pieces. Apart from nostalgia, the recent popularity of vintage items can partially be attributed to the current glut of TV and movie reboots and remakes. Everything old is suddenly new again. You could do it the hard way and track a piece down at a garage sale or online, then go about refurbishing it and getting it up to power-saving standards, which is no mean feat. Or you could head to Smeg for its drool-worthy color and design combos. Today's new retro refrigerators offer the best of both worlds: cool looks and modern energy-saving technology. If you're going to go the retro route, there are a few things you need to think about. For example, if your style is maximalistic, opt for a more neutral pastel shade. But clean lines and a stainless steel kitchen could benefit from a pop of color, say from a red or green vintage refrigerator that becomes the focal point of the room. Pot racks have been used to organize kitchens around the world for hundreds of years. Antique versions were usually made from heavy wrought iron, which later evolved into wooden styles. In recent decades, the trend was to hide your cookware and utensils behind closed cabinets. But today, a new generation has rediscovered the practical brilliance of the simple pot rack. Pot racks can be ceiling-mounted, which is tough unless you're tall enough, or wall-mounted behind your oven or cooking range, or on a free wall. Depending on the look and vibe of your kitchen, you could go full French countryside kitchen with copper pots and pans alongside lavender or herb sprigs. Or you could get functional and drape ropes of garlic or onions along with shopping bags, but keep them in linen or straw, not plastic, for aesthetic appeal. More than just a storage solution, a pot rack adds functionality and visual interest to your kitchen space. Imagine the pleasure of having fresh herbs within arm's reach, snipping off a sprig of rosemary to garnish a roast, or maybe picking some homegrown tomatoes for a salad. Sound bucolic? Well, it's not that hard to do, even if you're strapped for space. Kitchen gardens, and especially herb gardens, are one of the easiest ways to grow plants when space is limited. You can use your windowsills or a shelf on the wall, and soon enough, you'll have fresh aromatics anytime you want. If you do decide to try out a mini herb garden, choose a spot that gets direct sunlight most of the day. Some shade is fine, but your plants need sunlight to thrive. You may have to experiment until you find the best location for your plants, but keep at it. The results will be worth it. Also, keep in mind that not all herbs grow well when placed next to each other. For example, basil and sage require different watering schedules and benefit from being planted separately. And finally, to add to the cottagecore aesthetic, avoid matchy-matchy pots and instead repurpose old teacups and bowls for a colorful alternative. Starting a kitchen herb garden is a simple yet satisfying way to bring fresh flavors and a bit of green into your daily life. With every announcement of the color of the year, there's an almost immediate reaction in the fashion and design world. The shade in question tends to trickle down from international runways to the rugs at your local Walmart. While Pantone usually leads the charge when it comes to kitchens, it's appliance brands like Smeg and KitchenAid that call the shots. And in 2025, they're serving us healthy portions of soft, sunny days and European charm. KitchenAid has declared butter the color of the year, while Smeg named Jade Green its shade to watch. These gentle, nostalgic hues are part of the larger return to pastels in the kitchen. From mint to blush, lavender to baby blue, these colors can be found in wall paint, cabinetry, ceramic ware, and even appliances. These yummy-looking items are a rebellion against the all-white or stainless steel kitchen trends. We're craving softness and comfort in our homes, and these pastel-colored items help create an environment of peace and serenity. If you're not ready to go all out and commit to a paint job or redo your cabinets, a stand mixer in pistachio or a toaster in pastel pink might be all you need. A few well-chosen pops of color on a kitchen island or in a coffee corner can transform your space into something uniquely you. Since we're going all in on old-school charm in 2025, it's no surprise that the trending item on everyone's kitchen decor shopping list is the humble butter dish. An easy way to ensure that your butter is always soft and spreadable, butter dishes have reclaimed their place on the dining table. And if you've already committed to a butter dish, allow us to introduce you to its fancier cousin, the French butter crock. TikTok and Instagram are already filled with influencers singing its praises, and for good reason. Dating back to the 1800s, butter crocks are made of two parts. The base is filled with cold water to keep the butter at that perfect, spreadable, but not runny temperature, while the top is bell-shaped, and the inverted cup part stores the butter. Thanks to surface tension and the creation of a natural seal, this odd little item keeps your butter fresh for longer without refrigeration. If you're an avid baker or just love your toast and spread, no judgment. Both butter crocks, also known as butter bells or butter keepers, and butter dishes keep your favorite condiment ready to use at a moment's notice. In a world of overpriced gadgets and sleek gizmos, a simple butter dish feels like a reason to smile. If you have any CorningWare dishes tucked away in the back of your mother's kitchen cupboard, now might be a good time to dust them off. Once considered everyday dining ware, these sturdy dishes have slowly but surely become collector's gold, with some pieces fetching up to $10,000 at auction. Yes, really. One of the most popular patterns was the blue cornflower one. Designed by artist Joseph Baum and introduced in 1958, this was one of Corningware's most popular lines. It's also one of the most easily found designs today, detracting a bit from its collectible value. Corningware dishes were originally made with pyroceram, a glass ceramic material that could handle everything from freezer to oven to dishwasher. But things changed when the company was bought out by World Kitchen in the 2000s. The line was relaunched using a cheaper stoneware material that didn't live up to the original. Reddit threads are full of gripes about the newer versions chipping, cracking, and breaking far too easily. But then, a few years ago, the original pyroceram line made a quiet comeback. It's now sold only in limited runs, mostly through the manufacturer's website. It's not cheap, but if you're a fan of cookware that lasts forever, Corningware might be worth your time and attention. While it may take a little more effort than popping out to buy a pastel-colored toaster, updating your kitchen lighting is a game-changer for sure. There are delicate Victorian-style brass lamps, wrought iron chandeliers, multi-hued Tiffany lamps, and mid-century glass pendants, all sorts of vintage light fixtures that can transform your kitchen space. Additionally, choosing vintage or vintage-inspired lighting is also a nod to sustainability. By repurposing antique lights, whether salvaged from a thrift store or dragged out of a family attic, you help keep beautiful design pieces out of landfills and give them a new lease on life. A quick rewiring job and they're good as new, and usually have a lot of character. When paired with wooden cabinets, open shelving, and a mix of antique and contemporary elements, vintage glass fixtures offer the ideal blend of old and new. And in smaller kitchens or rentals, vintage lighting is an easy way to inject a bit of your personality without taking up valuable space. Cottagecore is back in a big way. Thanks to celebrities like Harry Styles and Taylor Swift, millennials are scrambling to add sewing and culinary skills to their repertoire. A new generation now dreams of eating homemade cake served on vintage plates, tucked into a floral love seat, surrounded by frothy curtains and thrifted pans. Of course, one must have one's automatic slow cookers, digital air fryers, and top-of-the-line coffee machines still close at hand, mind you.
The Electra semi-automatic chrome espresso machine.
So?
Oh my God, Tony, this is like $2,000.
The addition of a frilly curtain under a kitchen sink or across a window is one of the simplest ways to bring a bit of country charm to your city kitchen. Once a staple in our grandparents' homes, these quaint accents, often called cafe curtains or sink skirts, are back in fashion and honestly, cuter than they sound. Kitchen curtains can hide unsightly plumbing, ugly appliances, or overflowing garbage bins. And the best part? Kitchen curtains are also super DIY friendly. All you need is a curtain rod cut to size, a length of fabric, and a measuring tape. The kitschier the print, think florals, gingham, or fruit patterns, the better. Soft fabrics like these instantly warm up a space and soften the hard lines of kitchen cabinets. It's a small addition that can change the entire mood of your kitchen. If you're looking for a kitchen item that's outlasted all the trends, look no further than the humble cast iron pan. Chances are, if you root around your grandma's kitchen, you are bound to find one of these workhorses, and we suggest you hold on to it.
If you weren't lucky enough to inherit your grandmother's skillet, you can create one of your own.
More people are now cooking at home, and as a result, investing in better, more sustainable kitchenware. Considering cast iron pots and pans only get better with age, it becomes a win-win situation. With use, the natural non-stick finish improves, unlike your regular non-stick varieties. But cast iron is also getting smarter and sleeker. Brands are reimagining these classics into newer, more ergonomic, spacious, and stackable shapes. Products like Dutch ovens are also multitasking as baking dishes and stewing pots, appealing to all sorts of home cooks. And with the rise of celebrity chefs and cooking shows, cast iron has truly gone from old-fashioned to aspirational.